It's just gonna keep going. It just goes on you round and round and round. Welcome to Roast the Critics. Thanks for stopping by. Let's head on over to the Rotten Tomatoes scores for Mickey 17. As you can see here, the audiences gave Mickey 17 73%, and the critics gave it 79%. So let's go ahead and roast the critics who gave Mickey 17 a rotten score. Edward Douglas from The Weekend Warrior Substack says, the screenplay alone should have set off warning bells that this movie was going to lose a ton of money. Alright, yeah, this movie's been out a couple weeks, and it hasn't even earned half its money back. 3 factors we could blame here. 1, you could blame the director, the producers, the lack of promotion for this film. Number 2 is the audiences. You guys, you people who didn't go see this movie. You didn't go see this movie because, oh, it's original. Where's my flying superheroes? Or it's not a cartoon. It doesn't have singing rabbits in it. And then the third thing we could blame is Edward Douglas. If you have the ability to look at a screenplay like you say here and determine its fate, whether it's going to succeed or fail, where the hell were you, man? You're the Screenplay Whisperer. You can look at a screenplay and the warning bells go off. You need to give up your job as a movie critic and go be a screenplay reader. Review the screenplays. And then you can be the guy who says, don't make Mac and Me. Not a good idea. Like, you could have told Robin Williams not to make Flubber. In his little time that he had left, he could have made something so much better than that. You could have told the movie studios to not make Cats. No, that one's actually really fun to watch celebrities make pussies of themselves. But anyway, Edward, you missed your calling, my dear sir. Jim Shembri from jimshembri.com, it's a little pretentious, says Mickey 17 probably ranks as the least adventurous movie yet made about human cloning. So honestly, I'll probably be rewatching this. And then Jim's going to be over there just revisiting Lindsay Lohan's Parent Trap. He's like, oh, that's a great movie about cloning.
Oh, don't do this to me. I'm already seeing double.
Rayford Guzman from Newsday says, in the end, the deathless Mickey 17 and the movie as a whole both outstayed their welcome. Is that true, though? Rayford was the one who invited himself to the movie. The movie has a contractual obligation to play while it is housed in the movie theater. And yet, here's Rayford just walking on in uninvited. Don't you see that Rafe is the guest in this exchange? Rafe overstayed his welcome at 3 hours. You gotta get in line at the concession stand to get your box of Junior Mints. And then you got the 30 minutes of trailers that he sits through. And then Rafe probably sits through the credits to see if there's an end credit scene. Rafe is the problem here. The uninvited guest that takes all the food, takes up a seat that nobody wanted. Nobody asked for him to be there. And yet he says that the movie, which he knew the runtime, it's listed on the ticket, it's listed online, it's everywhere. He knew how long it was. It did not overstay its welcome. It played exactly as long as it was supposed to. So Rafe, you are nothing but an ungrateful movie whore. Just kidding, man. Don't worry. Just joshing with you. If you're depressed, don't take that to mean that everybody hates you. That's what this channel is about. Just joshing each other. Rafing each other's lawns, right? Johnny Oleksinsky from New York Post says that Mickey 17 is a mediocre rehash of the greatest hits of Bong Joon-ho. Well, which is it? A mediocre rehash or a greatest hits collection? There's no mediocrity within the greatest hits. Otherwise, it would just be the greatest mediocrities. Make sense, people. Make sense. Deborah Ross from The Spectator says, it's not the biggest disappointment I've had in my life, but it's up there with my ex-husband. I just had to add that. Deborah, come on, I'm kidding. Sunny Bunches of Oats from The Bulwark says, The story is soggy, the action almost non-existent. They're on a snow planet! The ice is gonna melt at some point, it's gonna get soggy on your boots! If you go onto IMDb, it lists almost every other genre except action. You weren't going to see an action film, Sonny Bunch. What do you expect? You're not going to get action in a non-action film. It's everything else but action. It's science fiction. You got science fiction. Keith Garlington from Keith in the Movies, it's a little bit pretentious, says, the big budget world Bong creates never quite lives up to its promise. Worst of all, the story he's telling drags on for an eternity. An eternity? Really, child? My kids say that crap all the time. I don't want to do my schoolwork. Why not? Because it'll take forever. All you have to do is summarize Of Mice and Men. A book is shorter than the Jell-O instructions. What? The book is itself a summary. You can fit it all on your hand with a Sharpie. It's not that difficult. It will not take forever. It will not last an eternity. Unless you don't do it. Then it'll seem like an eternity because you'll still be going to college when you're 42. But, if the movie is taking eternity, you can get off at any time. It's still going to keep going. It's like the cars in the Haunted Mansion. It's just going to keep going. It just goes on you round and round and round. You can get off at any time. James Berardinelli from Real Views says, a mostly failed attempt to merge sci-fi with satire. Mickey 17 suffers from a fragmented narrative and a scenery-chewing performance from Mark Ruffalo that belongs in a different movie. But this is the only time in my memory that I felt like Mark Ruffalo was actually acting and not just, standing there mumbling his lines. I actually really enjoyed him. And Robert Pattinson. Like, they just electrified every scene they were in. It was pretty incredible. And I've only seen Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse and The Batman. So I think it's safe to say, I think he's going to be our next Leonardo DiCaprio. And we're going to need a replacement, especially if that Epstein List comes out soon. Woo! Alistair Harkness from Scotsman says, if winning an Oscar grants you one get-out-of-jail-free card to do whatever you want, it seems a shame Bong Joon-ho has blown his on this. And all I can say is that if this is Bong Joon-ho's get-out-of-free card, then he's got a bright future ahead of him. Lucky bastard. The most honest review goes to Abby Bernstein from Assignment X. Abby says, Mickey 17 is handsome, it has cool creature creations, it's eventful, and its heart is in the right place. Well, that's all I got. If you're a critic and you're watching these videos and they hurt your feelings, I have nothing else to say other than you've got the greatest job in the world, so do it right. I will talk to all the rest of you in the next video. Laura Clifford from Reeling Reviews says that... What movie am I reviewing? What am I... Oh, no. Okay. You can't get any more... What? Were you hoping, your rays of sun would melt the ice? That's stupid. Then it'll get soggy. All I can say is that if this is Bong Joon-ho's get out of jail free card, he has got a bright future ahead. I lost my breath. Come on.